my YouTube channel. This is another episode of those 90s dolls, and today we're going to be talking about the Kenner Babysitters Club dolls. Now, these dolls are based on a series of books that were extremely popular in the 80s and 90s, and actually were published all the way through 2000 for preteens and young teen girls. That was the market for them. Now, I didn't actually ever read them, and even though they came up in my time, I was first introduced to these dolls when my grandma and I started finding them at the flea market all the time because they had really pretty faces, and so we started buying them. Now, the ones that I have Marianne on the end, so I have two of her. Both have been found secondhand, and one of them's got like some kind of haircut or something going on. The next one I have is Dawn, and I got her back in the early or the late 90s at some point. I have Claudia. This is Claudia, and she was the vice president of the Babysitters Club, in case you wondered. I have Jessie, which I purchased her on eBay not that long ago because she's a little bit harder to find, and I wanted to get her, and so I grabbed her off of eBay. And then at my local thrift shop, I found a Claudia in the box for 10 bucks. I wouldn't say she's new in the box, because if you look at her nose, she's got a pretty banged up nose there, so I think she's been in and out of her box. But for 10 bucks, I couldn't get her for that shipped on eBay, so I decided to go ahead and grab her. So before we talk any more about these girls, let's stop and watch the commercial.
Wow, it's really them, the beautiful Babysitters Club dolls. They're just like me, it's all I wanna be. I wanna be like Dawn. She's so natural, right down to her jean jacket. I wanna be good at sports and coach my own team, like Christy. I wanna be like Claudia. She's a great artist and wears really fun clothes. The Babysitters Club dolls. They're just like me, it's all I wanna be. The Babysitters Club dolls, each sold separately and comes with a special edition book for you.
Alright, so that's a lot of fun to always watch those things. I wish that my Dawn had her jean jacket, since they make such a big deal about it. But unfortunately, because I got them all secondhand, what you see is what I have for them. Now, one thing about these dolls that I really, really love, and what draws me to them, is their beautiful faces. So each one of their faces, you've got, Marianne doesn't show her teeth, but the other girls all have open mouth smiles, or the ones that I have open mouth smiles, which I love. Kind of reminds me of the open mouth Kimberly dolls. And they're just really, 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 really gorgeous. Now, they're made of I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure. I think the head is vinyl, but the body parts are a different sort of plastic. And I wanna show you how they're assembled, because they don't hold up well over time. And I'm gonna use Dawn as my example. She is very loose, and you can probably hear her squeaking. And the way that they assemble these dolls, I'm going to show you the joints here. So she's going to, they use like this black, thick, rubbery elastic. And of course, I'm used to the elastic that's, I don't know what the word, how you would say it, that it's cording, it's got cordage around it, or it's got a fabric around it. But this stuff is very loose. So what I would like to do one of these days is figure out how to restring these girls, but the way the joints are constructed, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. I'm gonna have to heat it and get in there with the hair dryer. And honestly, because the looseness doesn't bother me too much, it's just one of those really time-consuming things that I haven't done yet. Now, all of the girls had earrings except for, and you can see her earrings are missing, unfortunately. My Jessie, luckily, has both of her earrings, because I bought her from eBay, like I was saying, and she was in excellent condition. So she had her full outfit, hair is in good shape. She's actually not as loose as my other ones. She got her shoes, everything. So she was a really great find for me. From what I've seen, she can go up to $60 or $75 on eBay in the box, where the other dolls are much less expensive, even new in the box. The shipping is going to be the big thing because the doll box itself is so big. Now, Marianne does not have pierced ears, because in the novels, she had a nightmare, or she had a situation where somebody tried to pierce her ears at camp, and it was like a nightmarish situation. So she was traumatized and never had her ears pierced after that. So that is the ones that I have. Now what I'm going to show you on the back of Claudia's box here are the other dolls that I don't have. So I have 3 and I'm missing 3. And the ones that I don't have are Stacy. You can see her here. She's another blonde. And she and Claudia were the most fashionable of the dolls, or of the girls, because these weren't originally supposed to be dolls, right? And then there was Christy, and Christy was the shortest girl in her grade, and she was the president of the Babysitters Club. So I can kind of relate to that, because I was always the shortest girl in my grade too. And then there's Mallory. So I can't remember Mallory's story, I'm gonna be honest. She might be the treasurer. That might be right, because she was good at math. No, that might not be right. Yeah, I think that is right. I think Marianne is the secretary, Claudia is the vice president, Christy's the president, and I want to say Mallory's the treasurer. But what I want to do real quick is I want to pull this Claudia out of the box so we can see some of the goodies that they actually came with. Oh, you know what? It has on the back their actual things. Stacy was the treasurer. So I take that back what I said about them. So Stacy's the treasurer. Jessica was a junior officer, or Jessie. Dawn was an alternate officer. Claudia was the vice president. Mallory's a junior officer. Marianne was the secretary, and Christy was the president. So I had some of them right. If I had just read the box, it's always showing it to you guys. But anyway, so I'm gonna open this up and just pull her out. And I'm hoping with some magic eraser, I'll be able to remove that smudge on her nose. So let's see. Oh, all the girls are falling. They do not. It's just a little dusty. So they came with a little story here. Let me see if I can pull this out. So each one of them's got, and I actually have Jessie's story too, because it came with the eBay thing. So she's got a story all about her that came with her. And so that's pretty cute. And then let's see, we've got some hair styling information. It will be necessary to style your doll's hair with a soft bristle brush. They don't have the best quality hair. So that's pretty common with play dolls, is that they really don't have super great hair, because, you know, it's just expensive to give dolls like really, really nice hair. And it seems like she had a rubber band in her hair at some point that has disintegrated. So I think she had like maybe a ponytail. It is gonna be necessary for me to style her hair, but I'll use a wire wig brush. But I like this Claudia because she's got her full outfit. Now another thing that I'm just seeing that I did not know before upon pulling her out, let's take a look at the box here. The box actually turns into a stand. So I kind of like a couple of these dolls that I've opened from the early 90s that are more like 18-inch, because these are 18-inch dolls. And the appeal is not to a young girl, it is to like an older girl, like maybe 8 or 9 years old. That box left a huge mess. It's interesting to me that the boxes, so like the Hot Looks dolls had boxes that turn into stands, and then these girls had apparently boxes that turn into stands, which I won't use. And I'll end up discarding the box because it does, I'm sitting here smelling it and it kind of has one of those storage smells. But I love that Claudia has all her earrings. So the one that I had gotten secondhand did not have that. But also love her outfit. And all of their outfits I feel like are really well made, and they're really thoughtful, like with the accessories. And I think they're a perfect encapsulation of the time, basically, of what girls would have worn. So I've got 3 with shoes. I'm gonna see if I can stand all 3 of them up just to get a good look at them so you can see how nice the outfits really are. Kenner really did what I would consider, they were very thoughtful when they created this line of dolls. and they came out really well in my opinion, and they're just so gorgeous. The faces, now the squeaking, you can hear that. The squeaking is, you know, I'm sure they didn't squeak when they first came out, but they're really nice, and you can see they're standing on their own. I spoke too soon. They kind of stand on their own. I'm one of these people that I really hate doll stands, so I don't have a lot of doll stands at my house. I think they just take up space, but they can be good for certain things. Like they would be good for some of these loose dolls here. But I love the outfits that Hasbro designed for them, and of course there were illustrations in the Babysitters Club books that they had to go off of to design these things. But I think they're really well designed, and I think they're really, really beautiful. And you can get them fairly inexpensively on the secondhand market. So these, I can't remember if I said it, but these came out in 1993. And there were other iterations of Babysitter Club dolls, but they were more like fashion doll size, like similar to Barbie, where that's not really as appealing to me as like these 18-inch dolls, and these are just gorgeous. And when I think about these types of dolls and like the work that went into them, you know, you don't find play dolls of this quality with this sort of face sculpting anymore. A lot of the faces that you see now when I walk through the toy aisles at Walmart or Target, a lot of the faces are very exaggerated or cartoonish, and that's fine. That's the style that's, you know, in vogue or popular right now with kids. But there's something about these really sweet faces of these dolls from the 80s and 90s that just really, you know, I can't resist them. You know, I see them at a thrift store or a yard sale or a flea market or whatever, and I have to rescue them. So hopefully this little smudge will clean up off of Claudia's nose. I think it will. It doesn't look too bad. And her clothes are going to need a little bit of a washing. I can tell they're a little dusty, but just look at how cool that is. And this, it is sewn on, so it's not going to, let's see, nope, there we go. So the little buttons sewn on the overalls really work. So that's really nice. So really, really well made, gorgeous dolls with gorgeous outfits. And they're really similar if you collect BJDs in size to like a MSD BJD. So I think they're super, super gorgeous. And like I said, I had them when I was a kid, like when I was late high school. Like I said, when me and my grandma would go to the flea market in the late 90s, we would find them sometimes. But when I was the Target age, I didn't have these dolls because I didn't read Babysitters Club. I actually read Girl Talk books. If you've heard of those, they were probably like in the same vein. They, you know, they saw how popular Babysitters Club was, and you get Sweet Valley High and all these other books that are kind of similar. So I read Girl Talk. That was the book series that I read. But I just love these girls, and I just think they're so sweet, and they're worth, you know, they're worth a few bucks every time you see one out. So let me know what you guys think in the comment. Did you have a favorite character from Babysitters Club? You know, I don't have a favorite character because I didn't read it, but my favorite doll is Claudia because I love her outfit. So of all the dolls, I love Claudia the most. I love her purple overalls and her hot pink tights and her purple boots. She's just my favorite as far as her outfit goes, and so that's why I like her the best. But let me know if you had these, which one was your favorite, if you had a favorite character, and would it be something you'd consider collecting? I think they have a high collectability quality just because, like I said, they're gorgeous dolls. The hair can be a little messy, but you know, with some time and some care, you can get that tamed down. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video. Bye bye.